Alright folks, welcome to World of Wrestling. Thank you for joining the channel here today to watch this video on Raw. June 22nd, 2020 review. If you guys are not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe now, forever hold your peace. Also guys, leave comments down below as usual. I'll definitely get back to you on that. Hit the like button if you're not, if you like the video. I was gonna say hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed to the channel. Very weird. Anyway, so let's go ahead and get into this show. What is my overall opinion? I'm gonna surprise the living hell out of you guys. I actually enjoyed watching this show. This show was not all that boring. It was fast-paced. It had some good matches. The title matches were good. I also really enjoyed the fact that Charlotte Flair actually lost. Oh my god. And not to mention lose to Asuka. And build a storyline with Nia Jax, giving me an excuse and a reason to cheer for Charlotte Flair to beat her ass, because nobody really can stand her. And I'm pretty sure that's where WWE was trying to go with the role reversal, trying to get people's opinion off of people's negative opinion off of Charlotte Flair and push it on Nia Jax, because people hate Nia Jax more than fucking Charlotte Flair, I would imagine. Granted, Nia Jax is a big time fucking asshole who injures people out of pure stupidity and lack of knowledge of wrestling in the ring. So yeah, that's pretty much the deal. We had Rey Mysterio and his son at ringside today for the main segment of this show, the last segment on the show, which I actually enjoyed watching. I don't know how they're going to bring the son into this, which is kind of interesting. I definitely could see a 6-man tag team matchup, Extreme Rules match type of thing going on here between Seth Rollins, Austin Theory, and Buddy Murphy versus Rey Mysterio, Aleister Black, and Humberto Carrillo, the loser. In this 6-man tag team match in Extreme Rules. Now, one thing I will point out. There is one thing that really aggravated me and I didn't like. I didn't like the fact that Drew McIntyre, next opponent after Bobby Lashley, is going to be Dolph Ziggler for the WWE Championship at Extreme Rules. Where does Drew McIntyre, well, not Drew McIntyre, where does Dolph Ziggler have the ability to challenge for the WWE Championship? One, he hasn't racked up any wins, as Drew McIntyre put it in this promo. To kickstart the show, by the way. We also get a discussion about fucking, like, how he helped Drew McIntyre come back to his in a winning state of mind and also get to become WWE Champion, which made absolutely no fucking sense. None of it made any fucking sense whatsoever. That one segment I didn't like. Now, Randy Orton, his segment was great. Enjoyed it. Big Show being thrown into this, I'm not thinking is the right idea. If it was 10 years ago, maybe it would be good. But I don't know. I really don't know what to think of that, but I did like Edge's promo. Edge's promo was off the fucking hook. I love the intensity in that promo he delivered. It was more intense than when his wife ate an RKO by Randy Orton. So I absolutely enjoyed the living shit out of that. That was fucking great. He was upset about what has been done to him over the course of the last 2 months. He's upset with the injury. He's upset with how he treated Christian. He's pretty much upset with everything Randy Orton has done in the last 2 or 3 months. Now, I wish they would have thrown in the aspect that, hey, you went ahead, you hurt my wife, you've hurt my best friend, you've hurt me, and you've done everything possible to destroy my life. And now it's time for me to do the same to yours. I wish he would have added his wife into the scenario, which he didn't mention. But I would imagine that's kind of an obvious if you've been following the storyline and everything. So I'm not going to shit on it so much. But outside of that little tiny aspect, the whole entire thing for that promo by Edge was picture perfect. That was fucking fantastic way of cutting that promo. And he was sitting in a ring. I believe he was probably in the Performance Center cutting this promo. And it was kind of like black in the background and kind of like a small light shining on him, and you just see his face and his upper chest, and that's basically it. I was impressed. I thought it was a fantastic promo by Edge in that. When he comes back, that was not disclosed in that promo. Kind of just jumping around here, was throwing some things out here. Off the top of my head here. Nia Jax also, after the Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler segment, Nia Jax actually comes out during to shoot a promo here, and R-Truth comes out, and it actually was interrupted and eventually was... he was supposed to be facing Akua Tozawa during this segment, but that was not the case. So Jax goes on about Charlotte Flair getting what she wants, and even if she doesn't deserve it, she also goes on talking about how the only reason why Charlotte Flair is getting another opportunity for the Raw Women's title is on account of the fact she's the daughter of Ric Flair, so on and so forth. And she comes out and she defends herself in this scenario, saying, okay, you want to say that it's my father, it's giving me the opportunity and so forth, and all that jazz. Well, then that's fine and dandy, but I actually beat Asuka, not my father, so where do you come off saying that? Okay, fantastic. This leads into a brawl. Eventually, Charlotte Flair's shoulder gets thrown into the ring post, and she's kind of having an injury issue going into her match against Asuka, which plays a big factor in Asuka's win. So kind of a little bit of a tainted win by Asuka, but at the same time, at least it was a win nonetheless. So we get the Raw Tag Team titles defended here with the Viking Raiders and the Street Profits. Enjoyed this match. This was a very fun, enjoyable matchup. It makes up for all the weeks that they were building up towards this with these shitty-ass fucking video promos with them doing, bowling and basketball and all these nonsensical things that made no sense. But then again, they have no fucking title or a tag team division whatsoever to work with, so they had to do what they had to do there, I would assume. This would have the Street Profits win. This would eventually lead to Angel Garza and Andrade to suddenly attack Ford and Dawkins as Zelina Vega looks on, and Eric and Ivar rush back to help make the save, but Andrade and Vega taunt them all from the floor now as the crowd boos. And that's pretty much that segment. So we're getting an idea that Andrade and Angel Garza are going to get an opportunity for the tag team titles. Would I take the tag team titles off of the Street Profits at this point? To answer that question, probably so. But I would stretch it out for maybe 2 months. I'd save it for SummerSlam. I think that this match deserves to be just a normal tag team matchup, no Extreme Rules type of thing, stipulation thrown in there. Just a normal tag team match. Kind of leads to a double counter or something like that. You could put it on the pre-show, to be honest with you, since it's not in Extreme Rules or any major storyline being built into this. So I would put this on the pre-show, leading this into the main card of SummerSlam, and have these two guys compete over those tag team titles. And have Andrade and Angel Garza actually win and be a reunited unit here. Because I don't think they're successful on their own here in WWE's main roster. Maybe in NXT, but here on this roster, I would not put them separate either one of these two guys. Yeah, you can have them have an ego with one another, and eventually down the line, if you keep them champions for maybe almost 4 to 6 months, and then you feel strong enough that the tag team division has enough people built into it to actually form actually have tag teams to compete over the tag team titles. That's when I would actually separate these two guys and make them individuals. I would not take Zelina Vega away from Andrade at all. I think he would struggle being by himself. Angel Garza, he would be fine by himself, eventually leading him, maybe being a guy to defeat Apollo Crews for the United States Championship. I would be fine with that. They were talking about Apollo Crews trying to say he's going to be a fighting champion. Why not have him have a long title reign, and by this fall or the winter, have him lose the tag team. Well, actually, not the fall. I'm talking about the winter, like November or December, or even into the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. Have him lose the title to Angel Garza. I think that would be a fantastic idea. If you're going to have Apollo Crews defend the title for a long period of time, be a fighting champion the way they've made him out to be, and then he passes that title over to Angel Garza, that's a great way of building that title up and building stock into it and making it a little bit more prestigious than it has been over the last couple of years. So I think that would be a great idea for them to do. Bottom line, Apollo Crews, the way he's being built, I like the fact that he's defending the title and retaining it, not actually losing it within a couple of weeks like JD was predicting. Sorry. But, yeah, I think that would be a fantastic idea. Keeping the title on Apollo Crews until you get into, the winter or into when you're about ready to get into the Royal Rumble. I think that would be the best time to take the title off of him, and I think the perfect person for that is Angel Garza, to be honest with you. Seth Rollins was backstage discussing with Austin Theory and Buddy Murphy. Rollins says he has a message for Rey Mysterio tonight, and soon all will be revealed. Rollins stares straight ahead as Theory and Murphy walk away, and then back to commercial break. Bottom line, I think that this whole gimmick is getting a little stale, in my opinion. Let's get to the itty-gritty parts of this gimmick and get straight into it, will you? Is he going to become a world champion again? Is he going to do anything special? Is he going to get in a serious rivalry? Right now, he just keeps kind of taunting and beating around the bush with Rey Mysterio here and not going for the jugular here. So I don't know what's going on here. The only thing I could see that really would be going for the jugular is Dominic turns on his old man, which I think would be fucking awesome. I think a really great idea, and I was thinking about this, is that they actually had Rey Mysterio and his son team together at Extreme Rules, compete, have Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy team together and have Dominic have his eye gouged into the steel steps. At that point, SummerSlam comes around. He goes ahead and Rey Mysterio wants a one-on-one match with Seth Rollins. They do the match, but Dominic shows up and fucks over his own father and joins Seth Rollins as a way of realizing he needs to surrender to Seth Rollins, as if Seth Rollins has got some magical power over him or possession over him, and he has control of Rey Mysterio's son. I think that would be kind of a neat idea. I'm pretty sure it's been done before in previous, WWE storylines or any other wrestling storyline before. But, I mean, it definitely would be a twist. Nobody is expecting, Dominic to go from being with his father, who's brand new in wrestling and is probably just learning the ropes still, to joining with Seth Rollins and Rey Mysterio, completely feeling comfortable with that, knowing full well his son is not fully prepared for professional wrestling yet, depending on how well he's been training, or if he's already trained to the max that he needs to be at least to be on television and do some matches and perform in the ring. So if that's the case, kudos to them, whatever. But bottom line, I think it would be pretty cool. Dominic, betraying his old man and joining up with Seth Rollins, as if Seth Rollins has got some magical spell over him to be convincing enough that he should join with the group of Seth Rollins. So yeah, that's just some interesting stuff I'd like to throw out there. Tell me what you guys think of that, and I'll get back to you on that and let you guys know what I think of your opinions. Honestly, I think my feelings on that is it's a pretty damn good storyline, I think. Charlotte Flair versus Asuka, good matchup for the women's tag team Raw Women's title match. Was pretty damn good. Good action overall. Wasn't bad. I really enjoyed watching this match. It was a lot of fun. It wasn't boring whatsoever. It was a little bit discouraging, a little bit, because of the fact of what Nia Jax did to Charlotte Flair going into this matchup since she got an injury. So it kind of deflated the match itself of her beating Charlotte Flair and making her tap out. But thankfully, it was a win nonetheless. They could have had Charlotte Flair win and then face Nia Jax for the Women's Championship anyway. That would be a fucking real kick in the teeth for us fans. So, let's take a look here. So yeah, I already discussed about Edge's promo. Orton goes over what he saw during that promo, and he just explained the same rhetoric he's been saying. He feels that anybody that puts him in a position in the corner, he's going to strike like any Viper would, blindly with vicious attack, and do whatever it takes to actually keep his livelihood going. He feels that Edge and Christian were a threat to his livelihood. I think he's portraying a psychopathic Looney Tune who is out of his goddamn mind. And if you want to really get technical, you could put him with fucking Seth Rollins at this point, because there are two nutcases on this show. They're the two biggest dickheads walking on this program on Monday Night Raw. To be quite frank with you, Seth Rollins and Randy Orton are the two best heels in the company right now. And that's not saying much, because honestly, Randy Orton's a bigger heel than Seth Rollins, to be quite frank with you. I think Randy Orton would be a more suitable opponent for Drew McIntyre at this point. I don't know why they're not pushing forward with Randy Orton going after the WWE Championship, or Randy Orton being challenged by Drew McIntyre. I don't know why they're not utilizing him as that person to stand up for Edge. I don't quite get it. They keep using all these part-timers, old school wrestlers that were back when we were all kids in high school or in middle school, whatever age group you're in during that time in the early to mid 2000s, and using them as to continue to build the storyline between Edge and Randy Orton. I think Drew McIntyre would have been the best suitable person to be that person to stand up for Edge for the storyline. So that's just how I feel about that one, but whatever. So there was some, there are some things I'm pointing out to you guys that I didn't particularly appreciate or like, but there was some good things that were entertaining and was a hell of a lot better than what has been for the last couple of weeks for Raw. SmackDown, I kind of feel like it's been alright, but it ain't that great either. There's still some things that need a lot of work on, and I'm not going to go over all that shit. Akira Tozawa, he got a win over R-Truth for the 24/7 championship. Thanks to Bobby Lashley beating the shit out of all the ninjas and then putting R-Truth in a full Nelson and then walking away. And that was that. Big deal. I didn't know, though, that the 24/7 championship was a hardcore championship. So, new to me. I have no idea, but that should have been a disqualification. Anyway. We get Liv Morgan versus Natalya. Nothing big here. Natalya wins and has Lana at her side. Big deal. Who gives a fuck? That was a load of shit. That I didn't care for. I already discussed about the Ric Flair and Randy Orton situation. He just kind of goes over a lot of what he is, why he attacked Edge and Christian, and that he got that burning fire within him to bring back the legend killer of Randy Orton, and he's looking to do more damage and wants to continue on that. Big Show comes out, of course, as I mentioned, as the guy to stand up for Edge and Christian because they're his two best friends. Okay, I get the point. But at the end of the day, you are over the hill. Let's utilize some people that are actually on this roster that actually will be performing 7 days a week at live events that are going to matter in the next 10 years. You, my friend, are not going to wrestle in the next 10 years. So why are you in this storyline? It makes no sense. It's pointless. Not to mention, you were challenging for the WWE Championship at the end of WrestleMania while people, when you guys were already off the air in a dark match, going after the WWE title and being a fucking prick to Drew McIntyre. So I don't know. I have no idea. I don't particularly like this idea with Big Show being the guy to stand up for Edge and Christian. I think that was a bunch of bullshit. The WWE Women's Tag Team title match with the Iconics going up against Sasha Banks and Bayley. They retain their championships, thankfully. Again, Sasha Banks gets another victory for her tag team, racking up the wins continuously with a submission on not Billy Kay. It was actually, I believe, Peyton Royce. And she taps out in this match. This eventually led to a funny little trick on the fans, I think. She goes ahead and she says, I'm getting a little jealous with you constantly saying that you're Bayley those straps and so forth. And she wants some more gold around her waist as well. So she kind of acts as if she wants to challenge for the SmackDown Women's Championship, only to come out and say she wants to challenge Asuka for the Raw Women's Championship. Now, I understand that this is a brand, kind of a brand deal, that they shouldn't be able to challenge for other brands' titles. But with the state of the women's division, I think that this wouldn't be a bad idea. If anything, this would magnify and make this rivalry, this grudge that will develop later on in the future between Sasha Banks and Bayley, grow even more. My point being is that this could lead to both of them reigning an iron fist over the women's division, both on Raw and SmackDown. I think the tag team titles is where you would bring in their friction with each other, which then eventually you could have both of their titles on the line, main eventing a pay-per-view of some sort. I don't know which one you would want to do. I would imagine possibly maybe even Survivor Series, because at that point in time I could imagine us having fans in the stands. I would hope so. If not, I'd wait until maybe like WrestleMania, because at that point, I think by WrestleMania of next year we should have a actual audience, and that you could kind of avoid from putting in the main event. Make that like your co-main event type match, your second biggest match on the WrestleMania card, and do that. That's what I think would be the best idea for them to go with this storyline. If they can't do anything leading before WrestleMania, then do it at WrestleMania and make it your second main card championship match that's really heavily focused on, because I think they will deliver in front of an 80,000+ audience at WrestleMania. We get a segment with MVP and Bobby Lashley backstage being interviewed. He says that if Apollo Crews doesn't make the right decision, and so forth, well, then at this point he's going to make Apollo Crews pay for his decision at that time. Okay, so we get the VIP lounge segment, and again Apollo Crews again declines the offer, and out comes Shelton Benjamin again, challenging for the United States Championship for a second week in a row. Apollo Crews easily beats Shelton Benjamin. Again, Shelton Benjamin, I don't know why he's even on this program, why he signed to WWE, what they're doing with him. It makes absolutely no fucking sense. And then the last segment on the show, which I already discussed with you guys, was the Seth Rollins and Rey Mysterio, Dominic Mysterio segment. Went over all that stuff. So that's pretty much it at this time, guys. As usual, leave your comments down below. Hit the like button if you like this video, and hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed to the channel. And I thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a great night, guys. Bye.